Hey everyone, good afternoon. It's a wonderful Friday afternoon here. Michelle with ASIS Massage Education Director here for our 4 campuses, Mesa, Flagstaff, Tucson, and Prescott. We have a very special guest today, as all our guests are every week. Today we're going to be featuring one of our current instructors, Mr. Mario Castro, who has been with us here at the Mesa campus for a little over a year now. He is, I call him an instructor extraordinaire, willing to help out and take on any of the classes that he can do because he just, I'm assuming he just loves teaching so much, but we'll find out. But he is working over on the clinic side. He's doing some hands-on classes such as our neuromuscular therapy class, our connective tissue class, and just about some other things in our Swedish class. He's in a lot of different classes, and so he's had a lot of experience here at our ASIS campus. But he brings a lot of experience with him for many years in the field as both a therapist and an instructor. So we're going to chat with him a little bit today about his background, what brought him here to ASIS, and also find out a little bit about what goes on in his classrooms and what can someone expect to be part of their routine if they were to come here and be successful in the classroom and what that would take. So, and then we'll round up a little bit and chat about our continuing education program and some of the classes that are coming up for that. So let's, without further ado, bring Mr. Mario on and let's chat. So, hello, Mario.
Hello, Michelle.
Hello to all your fans.
Hello, everybody.
Paul made it. He says hello. So I'm impressed. So that's my husband, Paul. He's right behind me in that, oh, this way, sorry, this picture back here behind me in drawing size. But thank you so much for coming on to be my guest today. I know I really want to take a look at kind of an insider view. That's not my view from the campus side, and someone who's here most every day with the students, working with students closely one-on-one, and just give the viewers a little bit of an idea of what it's like to come here and be a student here, and just chat about how you've been, making this last year or so here. You've been through a lot of our ups and curves, I should say, not really downs.
Right.
With the way things have changed here, and we've moved to our hybrid program. You've been through all of that and been instrumental in helping us get that off on the ground as well. So I just wanted to bring you on. So welcome, and tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into the field.
Yeah. I've been a practicing therapist now I just celebrated February, celebrated my 27th year. Graduated. Yeah. I graduated in 1993, started school in 1992, late 92, and then graduated February of 93. And then just went out and started practicing. State license came about the same time. So my state license was 00076. So
Oh,
I don't know.
wow.
Yeah. So I've been licensed for quite a long time. Licensed in Iowa, now in Arizona as well. So that's kind of my background, and I kind of got interested in massage through the chiropractor that I was seeing for treatment. She was treating myself and my wife, and she's the one that really got me looking into massage therapy and really started me on my journey to research massage. I had no clue what massage therapy was until I had conversations with her. But I always had an idea that I wanted to do something physical. When I went to university, I was either going to major in communications, which I thought was pretty quick, or physical education, because I played sports pretty much my whole life. So I wanted to somehow continue that in college. But I opted for what I thought was the easier route with communications, and my grades probably proved me wrong on that. So I thought it was an easier route, but yeah. So,
yeah, those easy A's, they never really are. Yeah. Someone talked me into an intro to acting class in college for an easy A. It was the worst class I've ever taken. I am not an actress.
I never took it. I did take a geology class that I thought was very interesting. It was a wonderful class. So yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Funny. So then how long did it take you to start getting into teaching, and why teaching? What was that like?
Oh,
the next step for you?
Yes, definitely. When I was about 3/4 of the way through my program, when I went to massage therapy school, and again, understand I came from, I went to a university, and all of that, and had friends and all of that, and just the whole college experience, But then when I went to massage therapy school, it was more enlightening than I had of 4 years of the university. For me, it just tapped into something that I never even knew existed.
Yeah.
So yeah, so about 3/4 of the way through my program, the owner of the school, my mentor, she was also one of the main instructors there. She asked me if I would like to join the team there, and I felt very honored because, again, the impact that the school and the education had on me, I felt very honored to do that. And so she said, "Well, I can't instruct a class for 2 years on my own, but I can assist." And so I said, "Absolutely, I want to do this." And so that was kind of my introduction to teaching. And from that point, I could just see, because even at university, I was a mediocre student, but the professors that inspired me, they were so enthusiastic and so caught up in what they were teaching and trying to convey. That really inspired me, and so I wanted to be like them. I mean, I took this one professor. I remember I took a pre-Columbian art class, and but this professor was so into what he did, and you can see that, and he inspired me in a subject that I thought I'm never going to have any interest in this. So
Yeah.
I wanted to be that type of instructor as well, professor. I wanted to be like that, and so that's what I try to do, because I have seen students that, again, carry a mediocre academic record. They come to massage school and they just excel. And I want to be kind of the catalyst to that inspiration. So
Yeah.
I'm always trying to inspire people. And yeah, so that's really how I got into teaching. And from that point on, I was hooked. That's what inspires me to really have an impact on a student's lifespan there at the school. So, and even afterwards.
Yeah. So a couple of things. I'm kind of giggling inside here because I don't know if you know this, but we hear your inspiration quite often here. And for those of you who don't know Mario, sometimes when he gets into something, he's going to tell us how it is and what he feels about it and why it's important, and he's going to let you know. And we'll be sitting in the office like, oh, here he goes, he's going again, he's doing it. And then he's just like, come on, this is what we're gonna do. And so yeah, talk about like getting people inspired. You should be an orator, like, you know, let's get us all going. Like everyone's like, yeah, what do we need to do now? Woo!
Because I can see the internal power in everybody. I can see the potential, which nobody can ever measure. I can see that in everybody, and I want them to be inspired to do more, to be better, to be the best therapist possible. The subject happens to be massage therapy, but you can do that in any aspect of your life, and that's where I'm coming from with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like your other point too about sometimes students that were mediocre or less than mediocre students in a traditional school setting, they come to a massage program. There's probably other programs out there too. I don't know of them personally. I've never heard of them, but the transformations that I hear from students that happen to them on this like deeper personal spiritual level sometimes even. Yeah. But also this thing about, I didn't know I was smart. I didn't know I could be good at something.
Right.
I always thought, because of my test scores and all these other things, that I was not a good student. And just haven't found what it was that was going to be your thing. So we see that all the time with traditional learning wasn't the best for certain students, but they come here and they thrive because it's something that, one, they're seeing immediate results. Their hands are doing things that immediately do something to someone else. And that they're getting positive feedback. They're fun in an environment. They're getting to hear great speeches all the time as well, being inspired regularly. So yeah, that rewarding part of it is so on point for me as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. It's great to see those aha and light bulb moments all the time. So
I love to be in the presence of it when that happens. Yeah.
Definitely. So tell us then some of the students that you've seen along the way, what do you see from them that makes them successful? So if somebody's watching this and kind of thinking, okay, well, I'm that mediocre student, maybe this is for me, or maybe I don't know if that is for me, but who do you see really excels in the classroom? What's like their attitude or their engagement level or backgrounds? Is there any theme that you see among those successful students?
Yeah, I do. And first of all, attitude is everything. And people have off days, and I'm just talking about your attitude, having a positive attitude. I'm not talking about going out and conversing with everybody you meet or just be omitting that type of positive aura about yourself. Just be positive. And the successful student will come into the classroom and want to know as much as they can about the subject. That has been the successful student. It's not only that in the classroom, but then to carry it over into the practice. But going to school is kind of like practicing for the big game, and then you go out for the big game. You have to have all the tools that prepared you for that game. And so carrying that over into your practice, I've seen therapists become very successful in that aspect because they've carried that attitude from the classroom out to their practice. So it really has to be a student that is going to be successul, have to have a positive attitude and be a sponge and just absorb it all, because I kind of knew the direction I wanted to go in, but when I went to school, I didn't know that I could mix these two together, my desires and my interest in sports with massage, because it was just massage. And we might have went over it when I talked to the school administrators. We might have went over it, but I don't remember it. But it wasn't until later that I realized, wow, I can combine this. But I knew nothing about massage therapy. And that's great because I came in with a completely open mind about everything. And some students will come, they know that they want to go in this particular direction. Great, great. But keep your mind open and look at all of the aspect of massage therapy. Most students, when they come in, their view of massage therapy is very narrow, just through their personal experience. There's things they may have heard. It is so vast. It's unbelievable to a lot of people that you could do that in massage. You can travel with the athletes. You can be a part of this dance troupe as the massage therapist. Yeah, all of it, absolutely. So have that open mind. Be a sponge. Yeah, that's a successful student. Yeah.
Yeah, I hear that from students often when they think they're going to come in and they want to learn this one particular modality because that's the modality they know or they've been used to or introduced to, and then they learn the next modality and they're like, oh no, that's my favorite now. Forget that one. This is my favorite. And then the next modality, no, scratch that. This is my favorite now. Exactly. So those are students I feel do so well that they just everything's their favorite because they're just excited to be learning and incorporating all the pieces into their sessions, into that integrative session that they're doing. So I really love watching them work with that and seeing, okay, how can I add this part in now into what I do? Right. It's a joy to work with them.
Yeah, and you know, being the student is a continuous thing. Even when you go out, you're still learning. So it's not graduation. It's not the pinnacle of your education. It's just starting. It's just starting. And for me, I love that because if I could, I would be a professional student because I love school that way, you know. And again, you're talking to a person that's average in high school, average in college. So yeah.
I know so many things to learn. I was just saying, actually, I'm going to see if I can swing it to come into some of the night classes coming up with the cranial sacral classes, because it wasn't a track I learned in school. I was doing more of the rehab. I did the infant massage and the prenatal and different special populations. But cranial never really clicked for me while I was in school. And now I just see all these great things. I always thought it was a great modality, but so maybe I'll join the classroom soon. So absolutely. So that kind of brings me to talk about a little bit about continuing education. So we're talking about always wanting to learn. Well, I feel in a way we are lucky that we have a requirement for continuing education because it does help our therapists in the state and other states that have the requirement to keep fresh on their toes for different things, and just always seeing what's new out there or trying different modalities and helping their clients better with that. But I know there are a lot of therapists out there that will just kind of wait until their license is due and then take the cheapest and the most available thing they have that weekend or something just to get their hours. And I'm like, you're missing out on, like, you could be planning for this and thinking about it and getting some really, really good quality education. So what are some of your strategies? What kind of classes do you look out for just on like your professional level?
Yeah, I do something that is going to sharpen more in my direction. Neuromuscular, sports, rehabilitative, orthopedic, those type. That's what I'm looking for. And planning, quite frankly, because I learned to plan for that. Continuing education has always been very accessible to me because even after I graduated, I got involved with our local chapter, the Iowa chapter for AMTA, and then just started learning about these presenters and reading up on the presenters and like, wow, this is very interesting. So from that aspect, it was very accessible to me. So I probably got more because of my personal interest in the class. I probably got more out of it that way than a typical therapist that is just out there practicing and wants to look for continuing education. But now with everything online, you can search, and thousands of hits are going to come up as far as what direction you want to go or what your interests are in in continuing education and massage therapy. So it's very accessible that way for the current massage therapist. So I'm always looking for something that is going to help me in my direction, the area that I decided to go in. But then I've also taken very interesting classes in cancer research and those classes that I thought, I know this is going to help me, but it's not something. It's not a sports massage class that I want. But I took the class anyhow, and I was amazed, at all of the information that I got out of it. So, yeah. So I like to look at the class, and all the classes look great on paper. I like to read. I like to read the instructor, the presenter's bio, and see the direction that they came from, and that really helps me in determining. Oh, I want, because I can relate to that, or whatever the case is. That's the direction, or that's the class I want to take with that person because of that. So that's what I'm looking out for.
Yeah. So have you had really great classes that stood out to you more than others, CE classes in particular?
I took continuing education classes from Rich Fay. He's a sports massage therapist. Benny Vaughn. I remember those classes. And then Doug Nelson, precision neuromuscular therapies. Those classes really had stood out to me. And I always recommend those presenters. James Loslowski too. He's another great presenter in that field. So those are the people that I typically will gravitate towards. But I know also too, there's a chiropractor on the East Coast, Dr. Muscolino. And I know you know him because of the book and everything, but I did meet him. I had him sign my book for me, and I took his class. And he was he knew his stuff, and once again, he was very inspirational. So those are some of my go-to. I need continuing education. I want to take a continuing education class. I'm going to look them up and see what their schedule is. So
yeah. And I'm just looking at Dr. Muscolino's some of his books recently to see about getting some more resources in here, because the way he presents muscles is just beautiful, and also easy to comprehend and absorb, and just really great stuff. He presented one time for us recently at AMTA for our Arizona chapter not too long ago. I say not too long ago, it's probably been like 8-10 years, but it's just a gift to me. That's still this lifetime. So
right.
Ever since then, I've been a fan for sure. Just really but so what for those who don't know, you then also started adding some continuing education in your repertoire as well, as far as you teaching that as well.
Right.
So I'm assuming those classes that you've created are in that kind of realm of more of the rehab type of stuff. Any ones that some of your favorites that you do?
I gravitate towards shoulder being my favorite. The complexity of the shoulder. I'm still learning about the shoulder, but that's probably, out of the classes that I teach, that's probably one of my favorite ones. I did last year, pre-COVID, I did teach a shoulder class and at ASIS and got good response out of that class. That happens to be more of my favorite. And again, like I said, I'm still learning about it, and so, but I want to present my experiences with it, and just everything that I have gone through with just kind of going clinical reasoning with the shoulder and all of these things. That a direction I thought I was definitely going to help this person, and I didn't, and so then I have to backtrack and look, just because of what and the complexity of that shoulder joint, that glenohumeral joint. So that's one of my favorites but yeah, and really those continuing education classes were really born out of I was an instructor back east, like I had mentioned, And I would see so many graduates that came to AMTA conventions, and they were going like, oh, I wish I had paid attention a little bit more. Can you tell me about the shoulder? And I have this client that has this shoulder issue, and it was continuous. It was, that narration was always happening at these conventions. And so I said, wow, I went to the owner of the school and I said, I'm just I want to put this together, but kind of like a refresher course for graduates that have come to school here, and really put it together for them. Well, once you offer a continuing education class, you have you can't really screen who's going to sign up for that class. And it was really intended because nobody knew who I was other than the students that graduated from that school. So, I'm getting other people from other schools in the region. And so that's how it was really came together. Teaching the class was, it's a refresher course or the class that you had already that you weren't paying attention in. So
we're just kind of everything.
I don't know how many times this has happened, Michelle. A student at break time, I say, okay, let's take a break. And I don't know, they would come up to me and they would say, hey, this is really good stuff. When did you started teaching this stuff? And I'd say, what are you talking about? You had it in class already. What do you mean, when did I start teaching this? The same stuff I taught you in class. So they're just listening, I guess, with different ears now. They're not students anymore, they're practitioners now. So I don't know. I can't explain that. So yeah.
That I know, it's so funny that selective hearing, right? And selective remembering for sure. Yeah. So that kind of brings to my next point is the classes that we've been developing for for our students, but also for people who are like, I don't remember those shoulder muscles. I don't remember those muscles. How do I find those? How do I decide, once I find them, how they might be creating some pain patterns or attributing to them? And so let's chat a little bit about this kinesiology class that we've come up with our series of classes. You want to talk a little bit about what you're planning for them and the idea behind it? Yeah.
So, I've always had this two schools of thought on being precision with the focus, with the energy that you're putting into the work that you're doing. There's two schools of thought, and one was we'll do the grenade effect. Somebody comes in, they say they have a problem, and you go, okay, well, I don't really remember those muscles, but you know what? We'll work the whole shoulder. And because of the grenade effect, we'll run into the problem, And it's like, okay, but look at how much time and your client's money you have wasted just because you weren't sure what their situation was. And so with these palpation classes that we're going to be doing, this is going to bring you into, based on their pain patterns, this is going to bring you into like, okay, so they're telling me this is the pain pattern. So let's find the muscle. I mean, we could do the grenade effect on the area, the lower leg, for example. And eventually you're going to run into the problem. If you're lucky, you'll run into the problem. But let's take that out of that and let's start pinpointing, because that is where your clinical reasoning sources are going to be directed to. You're going to go in and say, okay, here's the muscle. And now, extensor digitorum longus. Let's have you extend your toes and let me feel this muscle contract. All right, so there's the muscle. Now you focus your energy on that muscle. And so a big part of it, like I've said before, the work is relatively simple. Once you leave Swedish, all of the strokes you're ever going to know. But you can take that now to that particular muscle and do a technique that's going to be effective on that. Can you get your whole palm of your hand in there? Maybe not, but you can certainly use your fingertips. It's the same thing. So a big part of that, a big part of these classes, I feel, is let's be precise. Here's the pain pattern. Here's the muscle. Let's find the muscle. And understanding the mechanics of prime mover, synergistic, and antagonistic. So that's really where that's going, that I wanted to bring. Because again, the work, the hands-on is relatively simple. And I've seen this, I've seen this continuously in all the continuing education classes that I have taken from national presenters. Yeah, that's the work we do. It's not the work, it's the clinical reasoning behind it that
Right.
will then direct your work. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what we just see so many times that, I hear students say, "How do you remember all those attachment sites and do this?" And I was like, "Well, because I'm teaching it, I'm also like in it a lot." But once you get really in your mind and start really remembering these muscles and finding them easier and easier on your clients, it really gets ingrained in you. And then the next time you're working on someone with a similar thing, it's like boom, you know where you're going, and then you're reinforcing that in your mind as well too. So if you want to be that kind of therapist where you can work more effectively and efficiently, doing that kind of work is knowing that information is really important. And like you said too, it doesn't mean we have to walk around memorizing all 500 pages of an anatomy textbook, but knowing how to use that anatomy textbook or kinesiology work or like the Trail Guide of the Body, one of our favorite textbooks, and being able to just refresh on where those muscles are and how to find them, but using those same similar, very simplified techniques to get to them and manipulate the muscle and work it to your advantage to relieve the pain and the tension on it. It is really a simple thing. It's just you gotta be on top of reinforcing that for yourself and repeating that. So that's what we're hoping kind of these classes are going to be helping people to do that a little bit more. Right.
I sure hope so, and that's what they're meant to do. Yeah, definitely. I'm not an expert by any means on nerve intervention of muscles. I know major ones, but but I know where I can resource it. I know where I need to go if I need to find that information out. So, and that's another part of it. So, yeah,
it's absolutely, that's so great. And so our classes, for those who don't know, we did upload those onto our website. We do have them scheduled. We are featuring, it's a 6-part series, each one 3 hours long. And each one focuses on a different area of the body. So we have a hip, we have a lower leg, we have a shoulder, we have a lower arm or more forearm, the trunk, and then we're going to focus on the neck, head, and face as well. So those kind of 6 areas that we're working on. And so you're conducting these out of the Mesa campus, and we have instructor Christine down in the Tucson campus that's doing them. She just had her first one today, went very, very well. So we're going to recap with her today soon, so we can kind of see how that went and what we can work on and stuff like that too. But we also are opening up. We got it approved for CE credits, so it was designed for our students, our current students, to help them out in like study hall situation. We're like, why not help our alumni and other people who need this refresher as well? So that was our goal behind it, and we did get approval to be able to run it online as well, to do it from distance learning too. So that's also going to help some people as well, that we can conduct it via Zoom, which is now such a new, well, not new anymore, right? It's a year now we've been using it. We've been using it in the classroom. But I find it fascinating that, if you asked me 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, like, can you do any massage work online? I'd be like, no way, Jose. And it's not happening. And then, but now seeing how we're able to navigate it and actually make very, useful classes and take advantage of that functionality of the internet, I'm like, ooh, this is, changed my mind. So I'm kind of impressed that we're, people are able to participate that way. So how's been your experience with being kind of online, in person, and how's that been going?
I would definitely say it's different, but also too, I look at the audience that it brings in as well because of the accessibility for everybody. So that aspect, and it's always a challenge as an instructor for me to do that. But I look back on I had a couple of students that were visually impaired that came to massage school, and I remember one gentleman was legally blind, and always I'm thinking about that, and so much of my narration was see, look at what I'm doing here. See, look at, and then it's like, they can't see it. So I have to change my narration to, okay, come over here and feel this area as I describe that. I find myself doing the same thing on Zoom. And when I'm saying like, okay, look at what I'm doing here. And then I look at the camera and I said, what am I working on there? I got exactly. So I find myself, changing that from, but I think it just sharpens my instruction skills more because I can't rely on, everybody. Everybody can't be there with me personally and know the big picture and what we're working on. So, yeah, that it has changed for me a lot too. But I love the medium too. I would prefer to be in person for everybody. But yeah, this is just opens up another door for people to learn and practice. So
yeah, I've been really enjoying it. Just being able to connect with all the campuses has been an absolute privilege and joy for me because I only see people in passing in my short visits and I'm on the other campuses. So this way I get to really meet them too. So I really enjoy that a lot.
Yeah. And it's even when I'm teaching, and I remember in the height a year ago, I'm sitting here and I'm going off and my arms are flailing and all of this, and there's students online there, but there's nobody here, and it's like, and then I have to look at everybody's reaction, like, did they hear what I just said? And looking at all of the 20 some pictures that are on the computer screen. Apparently they did hear it. So
give me a thumbs up. Somebody say something.
Yeah, exactly. So
I love it. Oh, that's so great. I'm excited about these classes, and we're going to definitely have some more on the schedule coming up. We have some in the works as well that we're getting approved for CE credits and such. But I'm so happy that you agreed to help us out with it because your Kines explanations and being able to put it into ways that students understand it has been really great. Students are always giving us that feedback that they love the way you teach them about the muscles. So thank you for taking that on. And it's a real treat. Anyone's going to join you for sure. Yeah.
I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, Mr. Mario. So I have a few fun questions at the end here that I like to ask all my guests.
All right.
And we'll put you in the hot spot here. So if you could have any talent or superpower, what would you most like to have?
Fly.
Fly?
Yeah.
You're going to go anywhere in particular or just kind of around the neighborhood?
Just anywhere I want to. Anywhere I want to. And even out of this solar system. So, yes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I love it. If you were not a massage therapist, what occupation would you have?
Well, when I graduated college, I went into officers candidate school for the Marine Corps. So I probably would be going Mach 2 with my hair on fire. I wanted to be a pilot, so for the military. So that's probably, that's a direction that I probably would have went into. Had everything on this side worked out, but it didn't. But you know what? I look at that and I said, you know what? I have bad knees, and it was a knee injury that eventually got me out of that program. But I said, I have bad knees, but do you think I really care about that just because of what I'm doing now? Oh my gosh! I mean, I get paid to do this. I mean, so yeah, it's just like so phenomenal to me. So I probably would have been in the military, doing something there. So
interesting. Okay. All right. So if money and circumstances they were not an issue, where would you like to live most in the world?
Well, my wife and I have been having this conversation. So kind of up in, we love the desert area, but a break from the heat every once in a while, up in the mountains somewhere. I don't want to say specifically where, but like Prescott area, Payson, Flagstaff, those areas. But really love the lifestyle in Mexico as well, because we've been looking at Netflix specials on lifestyle, down in Mexico and that kind of thing. So, yeah, but if I had to choose a place, I love it where we're at now. I mean, that's why we're here. So, yeah.
Impressive. A lot of people say that. I'm very impressed with that. That's awesome. This one's sometimes a little harder to answer. What is your most treasured possession?
Probably the relationship I have with my wife.
Aw, is she there? Is she listening?
She's working. No.
You have to show her this later.
Yeah. No, we're dealing with issues now with my father-in-law, her dad, and we always know that that we have each other's back. So.
Yeah. Well, we always get you good, Mario. Sorry, this is my gotcha moment. Gotcha.
I should have been prepped with these questions.
Big old softy. So here's one. Maybe might get you misty again. What would you tell your 18-year-old self? Maybe how to find Paula a little sooner.
Yeah. What would I tell my 18-year-old self? That everything will work out. It'll work out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm where I'm supposed to be. So, yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Oh, I just had Brooke Ryan just popped in and said hello, just so you know she's watching. Brooke Ryan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Brooke.
Hi, Brooke. Thanks for always watching. I was like, you popping in the stream, and you caught Mario just at the right time for him being one of the reasons we love him so, and we make him do speeches at graduation because this is what happens. He's a big old softy. We love it. We love it. This is real stuff here, folks. We hit the hard feelings in here. So, thank you for being you, Mario, and thank you for being here and sharing a little bit about you to everyone that's watching. And if Mario is on our Mesa campus, but all campuses get to interact with him a little bit, whether we do our Q&A sessions. He's available for lots of different information that students need and want. So we are very blessed to have him here on our Mesa staff. I'm never giving you up here, but know that he's also helping out all the other ones, and he's got these great CE classes. So if you want to find out more and get to hang out with Mario a little bit more and see what else we can do to get his soft side revealed a little bit, I suggest you coming down and saying hi to us here in the Mesa campus. But I don't want to take too much more of your time. I want you to go enjoy your weekend. And thank you again for joining us and everyone else online. Next week, we're going to be talking with the co-founder of the Massage Makes Me Happy initiative. And I'm really excited about that interview. So stay tuned for next week for that as well. And Mario, I will see you soon. Thank you again for joining us and having a great chat. So,
all right. Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate it. Thank you, everybody.